Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Fine.
You're recording.
Sorry, I wasn't really ready.
Hi, Jenna.
Hey, can you hear me? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Can
Okay.
you hear us? You can.
Yep.
Just
Finally.
really-
Yeah.
Okay. And you're Zooming? You're recording? Okay. I'm going to bring the Grand County School District Board of Education regular board meeting to order. It's Wednesday, July 16th, 2025 at 5:19 p.m. We are here at the district office. We are also available via Zoom. Laura Lee, Melissa, Kathy, and Dave and Matt are here. Jenna is zooming in and Mike is absent. If you are here to address the board, please fill out a speaker card. I will ask you specifically when you come to that.
Okay.
And if you'll turn off your cell phones or put on vibrate, I'll be appreciated. And Jeremy, you want to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? You're the only one that should be.
I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And Kathy, will you read our mission statement?
Yes. Our mission is to put each student first every day.
Thank you. Did I get all this stuff? All right. First on the agenda is approval of the agenda. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Dave Beerscheid makes a motion, Laura Lee Green seconds to approve the agenda. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
That passes 5-0. Next, public comments. Any public comments? No public comments. All right, next, items for discussion. First on the agenda, what we'll be talking about is the policy FGAB, which is Student Conduct Policy for Electronic Devices. So the board will review and discuss the policy FGAB that is recommended for adoption. But we're gonna probably recommend it for a first reading.
So an update on that. We have been working on the cell phone policy, as you guys are well aware, for a couple of board meetings now. And I don't know what the specific causation is, but we had some earlier attachments on there that were feedback from the committee that were presented and maybe not the policy format that we're looking for. I went in and updated the USBA recommended model policy that we just received and just made sure that it fit the basis of our needs and made some minor tweaks, and that's on there for you guys to read and review. And it would be that we post it for just like the regular policy process now. What this really does, we're having some confusion, possibly miscommunication about the policy procedure process and how that exactly comes into play. So what we're asking and what really your board is, what your role is as a board, is to create this policy and adopt this policy that allows us then as administration to create procedure specific to the schools. And that procedure would be something that is fluid and changes as technology changes, as needs change, as zones change. We don't want to have to come back to the board and say, hey, such and such hall needs to go from green to red, or we want to do this at the middle school. That's going to be at the administrative level. So my recommendation to the board would be that we review this policy to make sure that it's meeting the legislative requirements and giving us the parameters that we need, at the same time giving the district administration and the school administration the most discretion to create procedures that fit their specific buildings. So we're kind of taking a sidestep. I think we may have gotten distracted and convoluted with procedure and practice as part of policy and what we talked about the last two board meetings. So we're just redirecting back to what, in my opinion, is a more appropriate board role, is to create this policy and then allow administration to go forward with that. Now, if there's confusion, ambiguity, frustrations at the school level, the board's role in that position would be not to become involved in depth in creating procedure, but helping to support or direct administration on making the appropriate changes to support the creation of procedure. Does that make sense? So it kind of goes back, and we talked about that like in our work session, that oversight versus overreach. And when there starts to be an issue where there's that confusion or miscommunication taking place at the administrative level, the board is sometimes pulled in to a situation where it's tempting, or it feels like we need to reach in further. But I would just caution and say, let's step back and look at what the root cause of why that miscommunication is taking place, fix that at the administrative level, fix that communication, and then make sure we're applying that appropriately going forward. So this is really just a short kind of reset. Let's read this and get more into the weeds next board meeting.
Well, and I think if the board I think we could give out a recommendation, and I was talking to Jenna about this, of like, what this policy is setting up is classroom, in a classroom setting. And that's, that there's no cell phones in the classroom. If we want to push it out into the hallway, we could tell this would be the appropriate time to say that. If we want to push it out to lunch, if we want to push it out to campus, I think that's the level where we're at, but we're not going to get down in the weeds of like everything else.
Like
But
enforcement and all that.
enforcement and there's reasons why, there's definitely reasons why where we scale that. And I think we've gotten that recommendation from superintendent, teachers and committee. But I think, if this specific one is only classrooms, and so if we want to push it out into recess, passing time, then we'd want to talk about that right now though.
Yeah, and I think you could. My only or my recommendation would be that even that, for example, if we and theoretically speaking, I live in a theoretical world. If we say we're going to push that out right now, and then we need to scale it back or we need to adjust it, then it comes back before the board for an adjustment. Where if we pass the policy just as it is right now, and then our procedure says it's our procedure at the school level that we're not doing this or we're not doing that, and it's not working from day to day or semester to semester, the school can change that without coming back to the board saying, you know what, we thought that we weren't going to have any phone calls in any part of the school during passing time, but we've decided that maybe that's too much. Maybe that's, and we can make that adjustment on the fly, and it's more fluid. Giving your administration not only the authority to make that change, but the responsibility to make that change and be held accountable for it. So again, the board can do what the board wants to do, but the broader your policy is, that still allows you to reach your goals and give administration discretion, would be my recommendation.
So eventually adopting this policy meets state criteria.
Yes, it does.
Okay. That's really what.
So-
Jenna?
Yeah. I mean, the policy currently says that it doesn't include the transit time between, like, classroom time doesn't include transit time. So we're specifically saying, I like the idea of limiting cell phone use in transit time. I mean, right now we're saying we're not going to do that. I guess it's up to the schools, but if we want to, I mean, that seems like we would need to change that if that's what we're trying to encourage. No cell phone use in transit time. Like we would need to state that now in the policy.
I don't know if that needs to be in the policy. I think that's in the definition, is they just say it's not allowed in classroom time. So classroom time doesn't include lunch or transit.
Right.
But it doesn't mean that the procedure with that the school has, this procedure the school could implement is, it is also not included in transit time or lunch. So the
Right.
procedure at the school
Procedures.
would say that. It's just that our policy is only, our policy is only for instructional time or classroom time. But the school itself can make it stronger, it's just they can't make it less strong than the policy,
Right,
because that's
that's
code.
But if, okay. But if that's sort of our, yeah, okay.
I think we could give our opinion that we think, or I don't know if we could make the school, we could tell the administrators, you have to make transit time a red zone. You have to do that. And I suppose as a board, we could do that, but it doesn't necessarily have to be in policy, it can be in procedure. Is how I understand it.
Yeah,
You can do both.
this is just saying, this is the minimum that the school policy would be. If we want to tweak it to have unique criteria for specific location, we can do so, and that is something that we can change more fluidly. That's why we have practice and procedure versus policy.
Right.
Practice and procedure can change. We're looking at practice mostly as precedent for procedure, and then policy over governing it. So if the board wanted to just say carte blanche, and that was the board's view, yes, transits are off the table right now. We know that. We don't even want the school to have discretion over it. The board could do that. Again, that's one way of writing policy. And I've echoed it enough that you guys know my opinion is to make that as broad as you can, give discretion to your building administrator and your district administration, and then hold them accountable.
Right. And I agree.
And I think this is our step forward where we never really had a policy. This is the first step to having a policy that it's in the classrooms. We're holding teachers accountable, administrators accountable to the classroom, where we didn't have that before. It was just procedure.
Correct.
And so
Right.
this is setting this policy for classrooms.
And that includes staff as well, right? Isn't that what I understand?
I think it's in here that
Yeah,
it
it says
the
that,
same
right?
thing for
Like,
staff.
so no one will be using
Right, cell phones.
like that,
Right.
technology, watch, whatever.
But we're not going to do the we're not going to write the procedure. That would be overreach, say. What we're doing is writing the policy. And if we think we want to involve transit time, it seems like now is the spot to do it, because if we're going to give leeway to our administrators, they're going to write the procedures and the practices, theoretically. But if we want to say, we're going to let you do that, but these are our parameters.
So let me just throw it out there. I know Jenna, so minimum is classrooms.
Yeah.
Are we, for transit times, or are we wanting to push that bigger? Is the board wanting to do that? That's the
And
question.
the recommendation from the teachers, from that committee, what did they say about hallways and transit?
Well,
Did
So I asked Lindsay to
Okay.
write do a comment.
Yep.
You want to read that comment, or read that letter, or
Or you
just,
wanna-
or
a
just tell us?
synopsis?
Just
It's a
tell us
long
what
letter.
you're-
Whatever you need me to do. The majority, it's kind of half and half on what the teachers at high school feel about transit. You guys can't have it at all, right?
Yes, but I think it becomes a maturity, a
Right.
discussion of maturity. Middle schoolers can't
So-
handle that response.
That's what middle school teachers really like, that there's no transit, because, but secondary, we're teaching them that, okay, we're not supposed to have our phones in a meeting or whatever, but during break and stuff, we're allowed to, or during, that transit time, if you make our teachers start monitoring that transit time, it's gonna be hard. There's a lot of teachers there's upper teachers that don't know the lower classmen, and I watched last year some, teacher and classmen like bump heads because they don't know who they are, and then the teachers go and try to figure something out. I don't know, it's just a lot on us, and I hear you.
Mhm.
But I also saw last year on how we tried to dial that back, and how many kids and parents like, you should see the emails, you would be
Oh.
shocked. I think one step at a time. I think this is great that the classroom should be off limits as long as it's enforced. They could start like the procedures, the teachers like that the procedures gave them the ability to be like, no, this isn't working. Can we change this? And they are allowed to change it within that. I think that's what the majority of the teachers at the high school really wanted.
So they liked this red-green zone that you guys
Yes.
put up here, and the green did include transit time because of the difficulty with enforcement, is
Yeah.
how I understand it.
Yeah.
And so most of the teachers support that.
Yes.
And I think what I'm hearing from Melissa and Matt is that policy is one thing. I guess, we could be a little bit into procedure, but why? I mean, to me, it's a process that each school, middle school, grade school, and high school, have to determine about transit time, the way it can be enforced and what it does to the teachers. And I don't want to be overseeing that. And it's just saying carte blanche. So I don't think I want to be a little bit into procedure. I prefer to be in policy and let procedure.
Well, me
And the
too.
A lot of the teachers that we're talking is realizing that if a kid wants to go to the bathroom during class time, they can't take their cell phones with them. You know what I mean? Because that's still classroom instruction time, because you don't know how many high schoolers will go to the bathroom, call their friend, and then now there's a powwow in the bathroom
Right,
that we have to go break up. So a lot of them, it's been really mixed reviews. From some teachers want pouches, some teachers want like just something on their wall that they walk
That's a
in and the
great
kids
idea.
put it in. And if they choose not to put it in, the minute they get it out or they look at their watch or they see something, it goes on the teacher's desk and they can pick it up at the end of the hour. So there's just a variety of how some people are like, nope, I'll deal with it in my own classroom, and others are like, no, we need a unified. It needs to be the same in every single classroom or it's never going to work, and it needs to be enforced. And so,
Yeah.
that's
And
what
that's the administrator issue.
Right.
Or thing that needs to happen. And Jenna, I think so we're saying, classrooms, and we've always really, basically even looking at the middle school, they've always had a no cell phone at all policy, or not procedure, basically. So,
Right.
there's always that, if I feel, we set this policy and it's still out of control, or, we're getting TikToks, in the bathrooms and whatever is happening, we can step it up in 6 months. We can, this isn't
Through
just,
procedure. We can step it
we
up
can
through
even
procedure.
step it up
Or
as policy. I mean,
Yeah.
we're giving, we're trying to say, hey, high school, please set this up so that you can monitor your own things. But if they have no teeth behind even managing it in the classroom, then we might need to go, oh, this isn't working. We do need to set policy so that the teachers have more support. But that's to me a bigger discussion that something's
But
not
I just-
working in the system.
I want to
just-
respond to Dave. Like, I don't want to get involved with procedure either. I want to set this as policy potentially. Like, that's our expectation. And then I hear you that you don't want overreach either, but set something as policy. Yeah. And then we could also, if it doesn't work, we change it. potentially too. Like, but we start out of the gate. Hopefully.
I do, just to both those points, the thing about effective policy is that it changes seldom. One of the issues that we have just from a 30,000 foot point of view with the district is we are updating so many policies so frequently because of the USBA model policies. And we haven't had the system in place to really ever make policies our own. And they're changing so quick from year to year that, like Michelle and I were talking a month ago, we have policies that are waiting or in the process, in the works, that by the time you guys approve them, we're gonna have a recommended change next month. And when it gets to be that way, nobody can remember what is actually policy and what actually isn't policy, and we're referring, and so this idea, yes, you're always able to go back and change policy one way or the other, but if we're passing policy appropriately, we're going through this process of first, second, and third readings, we're playing out second, third, fourth level consequences, system level thinking. Ideally, we're not changing policy that often because we've left that discretion to change procedure from year to year in handbooks or things of that as they come up. So again, that's just my philosophy, but just from an operations point of view, we are changing policy at an abnormally frequent.
I would blame that on the state legislature.
Well, I'm not saying it's not all us, that's for sure. It's not all us. If they take every other year off, we'd be in good shape.
Yeah.
I guess my thoughts, because I definitely hear what you're saying, Jen, 100%. And ideally, I'd love for phones to not, when you walk through the door, they're up on a wall, you don't see them till dismissal. Like that to me is what's been successful in a lot of school systems, but we're probably not at that place right now. And I see what you're saying, Jenna. You're like, well, we're gonna do it. Let's just start with that, and I think that's what you're saying. And I get that. I guess for me, I always come back to if our goal is to set the kids up for success, with this big change, is it too much to do something like that, to block the hallways, and is that too much at once? That, I don't know. I'm concerned that if we want even little successes, then we just have our policy exactly like what we've said here. Then, if this goes great, then next year, the admins and whoever can decide, well, you know what, let's now move it to the hallway. I'm just worried that if the kids, these young adults are like, when they walk in, they're like, well, screw all this. I can't use my phone anywhere. Then there's going to be more defiance. I don't know. I'm just trying to think about success for those. It's something that's doable for them in the beginning.
What I'm hearing is that, especially at the high school level, there's not a way, you can have all the laws in the world, if you can't enforce them, if it takes all of our time policing and trying to figure it out, it's not doing anybody any good. So, let them have a little latitude, see if it works out. If they go in the bathroom, you start seeing things happening, you do something about it individually, but you don't have to police 300 kids at once. And that's what we get into when we say these policies, especially at the high school level. So
These kids are smart, they don't get around it.
they will, it's.
When they had to turn their phones into the office, they would bring in someone else's phone and turn it in and keep theirs on them. Like they're gonna get
Probably
around
have
it.
burners,
Even with like the pouches, there's TikTok videos on like the ones that Carbon use that they can't go to the office to undo. They've figured out how to bypass it.
Well, we can only do what we can do
Right.
and try to make
So,
it
I
as
mean,
palatable as possible
yeah.
for the students
For
and the
sure.
teachers. Because I'm really concerned with what's going on in schools today and teachers having to enforce unenforceable and follow up and spend all their time being cops and not being teachers. I really love it.
Any other comments? Discussion?
I'll just say, so this policy does include consequences, sort of, but kind of possible consequences, because that was one thing we didn't want to really get into that either, right? Is first infraction, second infraction, third infraction. So there are some apparently they will get one warning prior to discipline.
What page is that?
That's page 7 of 8, at least of the one. it's
Oh,
on
of the red line?
Of the red line one. It's under consequences for violation of policy. Let's see if it's 7 on here too.
Oh, it does, yeah.
So, which I think, and that's, I guess this isn't code, this was just something that USBA created. I don't think it's necessarily bad, but it does sort of,
And what you see there that is not in red on the red line is in your existing
is an artificial
electronic devices policy.
Mhm.
So that's not a change.
I feel like we can, once we get more comfortable with policies, we can, we can come back and go, oh, this seems
We
not.
need to maybe change some
And,
things
and,
there.
and again, this is, I know it's on the agenda because it's been on the agenda the last couple of months, but it is not my expectation that you approve anything tonight. This is just
Okay,
first reading, so.
But
we
wouldn't
can-
everything need to be completed by the first day of
for the
school?
handbook, yeah.
I mean, just so
Well-
when you're starting,
Like,
you're
will this
talking
need to be in
kids,
the handbook?
they need to know like from day one and not like, well, we're still figuring it out. I don't know, is that right? I mean, is that the right approach or?
Ideally,
Yeah.
that would be ideal. I don't know if it's still feasible right now, unless you guys want to rush through this.
Well, the state, look, we've got a minimum, which is what most, we're almost there, which is and the state is saying, I mean, we already know that this is gonna be the minimum policy,
Right,
right? So that
That's in code.
day one, first expectations, when you talk to, when teachers talk to their kids, they know that there will be no cell phones
And that
in the
needs to
classroom.
though be, that, it also says you have to make sure that that is available for parents to see on the website. And, so, but is this, do we have in our handbooks right now, we have this, like, this is the HMK one, this is the middle school one. In your handbook, does it already say that?
I have it linked, so I say,
Linked, so
yeah.
it's linked.
Like,
Okay,
yes,
so
the
they do
policy,
have access.
FDA,
So nobody's gonna be surprised.
I mean, you can look
We
at
already know.
last month, we looked at all the handbooks
Right.
and they were in there.
And there was, so that's all we need. And
Yeah.
then we can do this.
It's just the expectations that we need to make sure the teachers are, following
correct.
policy.
And then
But the admin can also still create a procedure knowing
Yes.
that the minimum requirements
Right.
and changes they go. I think
Exactly.
from day one, the kids need to be,
Yeah.
and the parents. The
Yeah.
parents usually throw quite a bit of it too.
Right.
I mean, they can still create a procedure, right?
Well, yeah, you're
Well, they
working
have.
on that today.
So, and if we're day one of school and we have not approved this, it's
It doesn't
still,
matter.
this
This
still
is
is,
still in effect.
it's
This is
still,
still in effect.
it's still the code, it's still law, so
Yeah.
it doesn't, I mean, it would be if we wanted to change it to
So we're suggesting that we
post it.
post it, move ahead.
The red line.
Okay, and moving
Yes.
on. All right, next on the agenda is, memorial policy or guidelines. So the board will discuss student memorials and the development of district policy and procedure. We put this on the agenda, we had a request or a public comment about a memorial. We do not have a policy to guide us in this issue. And so I recommend, a month ago, I asked superintendent to create, I gave an example of a policy from Granite and some recommendations from the Therapists Association. Anyway.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
so we talked about this again in agenda planning the other day and thought that the best avenue would be creating a committee to look at, well, I would rather go to the committee with a draft policy
Agreed.
and have them look at that and then proceed from there. I don't think, we talked about committees
Take forever.
have a
Yeah.
hard time creating a
Herding
policy,
cats.
especially if it's, well, it has to look like a policy, right?
Right.
So, because what comes back is just a lot of information. Yeah, so, I guess we also talked about this is not, this, I know it feels like it's a time crunch, but I don't, this isn't as time crunched as we can wait for teachers to come back in school. We can ask a couple teachers to be on the committee. We can ask Kelly thoughts. Because I know she has, some insight. That's where I've learned a lot about this sort of thing.
So we have to create the policy before that happens?
Well, and as I don't know, usually, Matt, how does that work?
We don't need to recreate the wheel here. I think that we can reach out, research, look at other school districts in the state of Utah that have policies, tweak that, get a rough draft, make it unique to us, take that draft to a committee, get some feedback from like people who specialize in that, whether it's Kelly Vox or members of that team, and then bring a proposed policy to the board. I don't know what the time frame on that would be. Like when everybody gets back in session and are back on contract, and we get going through that, but it's something that we can start right now and then just go forward. I can visit with the superintendent about what role he wants to play in that and leading that, and we can go from there. That would be ideal. I think we want to make sure that we're thinking this out again at a systems level before proceeding forward with anything.
Have you looked at other policies?
I looked at the
Other
grant
schools?
one.
Do they include things like codes, like building codes and all that kind of stuff? Like when you're thinking about placement as far as making sure, I don't know, I was just curious.
Granite doesn't do any. Their policy is they don't
No,
do
they
any.
don't.
Okay.
That's theirs, but I'm sure we
But
can
it-
find other schools.
I was just
that might-
curious.
Yeah, look,
Like, if you want to put it in front of the school,
right.
make sure there's
Yeah,
walking
so-
patterns and all that kind of
yes,
stuff, like.
yes,
maybe that happen.
that would be.
That's
that-
part
That'd be
of it,
something to certainly to consider.
I don't know if that would be in the policy, but anything that we built would be
Have
subject
to
to
be.
code and
Right.
And
go
having-
through that process and drawn out. It wouldn't just be,
And like whoever designs it has to make sure that
we
it's.
wouldn't just be doing.
I don't know, I don't know a lot about construction, but I would think if it's becomes something that happens, hopefully not that often,
Right.
but I was just wondering how that works.
I think that's really simple. I think the
Is that
hard
the simple
part
part?
is, the
Okay,
hard
I was
part
thinking-
is determining
Right.
all of the
How to do that.
effects that this memorial will have on all of the students, not
See,
just
Yeah,
not 90%, everybody.
I'm not even coming at it from that.
Yeah,
place.
and
I
think that's more what
Yeah,
Granite and other people are looking at.
gotcha,
The
okay,
building of it is.
that's the minor part, I was
The
thinking
mental,
that, yeah, okay,
there's a
how
lot,
that
there's a
is,
lot of
like
emotion.
triggering and all that stuff.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay, gotcha,
Yeah, we kind of got from there. No, okay.
thank you, I just needed that.
Are we done?
yeah,
That's what.
Okay.
and that's where we're at, so
Wow,
we'll.
this is like a
we'll-
miracle. I'm like, well, I can go back to looking at my cabin. I don't want to use my phone. But I have a camera right here that's looking at those Ireland doing stuff in my cabin.
All right, let's see. Convocation and new staff meetings. Mike's not here to discuss that. Did everybody get a letter? And so we kind of know, thank you, Ms. Shea, for sending that out. You're gone for that.
I'm here I'm here on the 6th in the morning.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So
You're
I'm
gonna come to
hoping,
the
I'm
new-
hoping to be there for some of that, because I'm leaving out of Moab, flying out, and I think the flights are all in the afternoon.
All right.
Goodness.
Do we have any, if there are any questions about it, send it to Nishay and she can,
The Shay is all over that.
she knows
She'll
all the
It should up,
answers.
just like.
So all over.
I do have a question about where does, I got an email from Nishay about sweatshirt size.
Yes,
Where, is that a budgeted line item?
That is coming out of superintendent discretionary funds, I believe.
Okay,
Swag. You're a
because we've done t-shirts. Sweatshirts are a little bit more expensive than
Mhm.
t-shirt. But he has a line item for that.
Yes, there is money for
Then I'll send back my size.
Yes, okay.
And to be aware, like when I was talking to Lindsay and numerous people, a lot of people do not check their emails during the summer.
know.
So,
We'll guess for them.
Good idea. You didn't respond, so you're, yeah.
And he said, immediately. He said, immediately respond.
If you haven't done it yet.
It was a really long survey. I had to hit a size.
I know, it was real hard, huh?
It was tough.
Oh, wait, was there a
Good thing you
survey?
didn't have colors, because that would have been just.
Was there a survey? Can I miss that?
No, I think it just came
Email.
today.
It just says what size. you
Came
want.
today, okay.
Yeah.
I'll get
Hoodie-
time.
Hoodie size.
okay.
It came today.
Moving on, Power Schools enrollment, registration update.
So, the dream that is Power Schools continues, and we are learning and going through our growing pains. We did hit a little bump. Kendra's here to answer any questions you guys might have. I don't know somebody requested this, but if you have specific questions about that, happy to answer them. Registration is open.
I registered all three of my children yesterday in
Was it easy?
preparation for this meeting. It was, easy, sure. Yeah, it's easy. It looks different than last year, completely different view. Like it was, I was expecting, but it was easier than last year. So, and then I did, I think the only thing that I might have not done correctly, but I feel like I figured it out, but I copied, it asked you if you want to copy your kids. And I did that, but then I didn't notice if I just went through again and went through all the tabs. I don't know if I had to do that or if that copy and paste does the first two tabs or if it does it all.
It should do it all, and so that was
Okay.
like our big takeaway from last year was just that there was like a lot that had to be generated over and over and over again.
Yes.
And so we started off by just doing a public, PSA of like, hey, we heard you, first year was not ideal, we're gonna do our best to improve it. And so the big thing we worked on at Power School was automating things that were gonna be the same information. So
Yeah.
like, the only things that should have been different was like, if it asked like household questions, those may be different than my children, just in case there was two families living together. But whenever it was like my children for like, the free and reduced lunch and for transportation, all of that was able to just be auto-filled. And so we did, Colton worked on it a lot. That was like a huge project that we worked on the last like 8 weeks. And Matt was super supportive of helping us do the upgrade because the last program was a little bit more like build your own, which for such a small team was not obviously enough support from them. And so we got a lot more kind of like a programming support from Power School to make it work more logically this time. And the things that the secretaries helped a lot too with enrolling their kids early, giving us kind of feedback. And then the big change was just that the portal where parents logged in, we had to roll that over with our Power School year, and we were working with our end of year submission to the state in the midst of all of this. And we can open up registration like in January and have people registering for the next year, but we can't roll over our whole parent platform until the whole Power School database is ready for the end of year submission. So there was like a little bit of confusion about that, and Shay put out a post on the 2nd just clarifying that the parent portal is still waiting for the rollover. I believe Colton just rolled it over today. We haven't posted that yet to parents, but basically, when parents log in, they won't see all of their class placements, which is kind of what we're hoping with HMK, because there's still some work that the counselors are doing at secondary level to finalize schedules. But overall, I think every year our goal is to get it a little bit easier. So this was like much more positive than last year. And we hope that, parents feel that we heard them. Then there was one parent that compared us to the DMV last year, which I still really took to heart. Like, I took that seriously, that was, an action item to work on. But I do think it's a lot better. it did require a bigger lift of, we just need to be able to understand what we can take on for our own programming needs and what we need PowerSchool to support us with. And so it was a much better experience. And so the goal is that the parent portal will have all the class lists August 1st. We'll have all of our counselors and secretaries back helping for all of that. But the goal is that next year we should be able to open it before school's even out.
So clarify.
Yeah.
I'm getting it. That was my question. So there's a parent portal
Yeah.
which shows everything. You can find your GPA class list.
That's
your
normal parent
That's
portal.
my normal thing. That
Yeah.
this thing I just did was just I had to create a new account
Yeah.
and basically do all the forms.
And so
those.
it'll
So
all be
I
the
will,
same.
but I won't.
Yeah.
But I had to create a new.
You will only need to use that login
Which-
just for registration.
Okay. So once I'm gonna go back to my old login.
Yeah.
Okay. That was
So
my
the
question.
first login is your forever login.
Okay.
And this one
I
was
hope I didn't update mine. There. Okay.
it should be fine. And we really wanted parents to just log in with the parent portal. And the reason why we couldn't do that was because the year hadn't been rolled over yet. So that's the only caveat. We'll just have to decide next year, like, hey, if we want to open up registration even earlier, we can do that, but we'll have to do that one-time code
Yeah.
again to parents.
I think that's fine because I think that keeps it simple. Like it's just those forms that you're
Yeah,
filling out.
yeah.
Once you get into the parent portal,
Yeah.
it gets, there's a lot of information on that parent portal.
Yeah,
Like,
and that parent portal stays the
So-
same. They should expect all the things that were in there before. They'll have all of that, all the information that they saw before from like their GPA, their class placement, all of that will still be there. So the parent portal didn't go away. It's just that we couldn't use the parent portal for
makes sense,
registration
okay.
while we were doing our end of year submission with the state.
So I would be remiss if I didn't mention the fact that Nishay, Kendra, Carrie, and Colton have been rock stars in helping us try to navigate our PowerSchool growing pains.
It's
So
gotten a lot better.
I appreciate their efforts very,
Me
very
too.
much.
Yeah, I know Carrie's been working a lot with Colton on it to help with the admin side, and like it's definitely been a huge lift. But I do think I'm really glad to hear it was a more positive
Yeah.
experience.
it was easy.
How long did it take you for 3 kids?
Oh, I would probably 40 minutes.
Okay.
I think. Maybe. Could have been a half an hour.
And maybe next year it's
But-
just quicker.
Well, you have to, my problem with I have kids that have some like asthma, so I had to like, once I click I had to figure it out first, because there is a button that you can go, no medical things, and it says no, but once you click yes,
Mhm.
all of them are required.
Yeah.
And so
Oh.
then I had to go and say, no. But then I figured out I could just leave that no,
Yeah.
but then go down and click yes.
Yeah.
There was a little bit of figuring it out for me.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
and the one thing we
but-
had to update for all parents was that last year there was like a little bit of a data issue in our Guardian tab, which is just like Guardian information. So this year, we just basically asked all guardians to submit new contact information. But next year, it will autofill because there was that issue last year with some of like the reporting hadn't been as clean. So I think it will be even easier next year, and this will help with like better reporting to the state for like our tribal affiliation, better reporting to the state of like we updated our McKinney-Vento for homelessness. So like the cleaner and easier we make our registration, the better data we're gonna get from our parents. And so it's just, it begets better, cleaner data going forward. So I do think it's definitely was an investment for upgrading the PowerSchool resource from the Enrollment Express we had before to just enrollment. So I do wanna say that like that was a financial undertaking this year that I do think paid off, and I hope we can continue to stay with that solution because the previous one just didn't have enough programming built in without assuming we were going to do it ourselves, which we just don't have the staff for.
There was one tab, sorry, I just remembered, went on that main page and I had to put my name, and then relationship, and I was other, not mother. So, or whatever. And so I couldn't update that.
Okay. Next time, just take a photo. It's just like these tiny glitches. We'll
Yeah,
go
it's like a
back in
tiny,
get it
and then I was
fixed.
like, well, who really cares? But now that you said that, but you know, it could be, you might need to know that I'm not an other, that I'm a mother.
At the admin.
Yeah, whatever, yeah, mother.
I don't
It's all
know.
from other
But it was all, but all the other kids were fine. It was just on Chloe that I was her other, so.
Now, this is not class schedules, I'm assuming, right? At this point, it's not class
Right,
schedules.
right. And the goal was originally that we would have all the, because like right now, our class lists have already been finalized at HMK for a long time.
With the
So-
teachers, you mean teachers?
Yeah, so we were just hoping that once registration was done, they could log into the portal, do their registration, see their
Yeah.
classes. We were like, just wait, it's not gonna be on the door, it's gonna be in there. And then because of all of the hang up with the rollover and then the state submission, it just made it a little bit,
Yeah.
a couple extra steps. So it will still be there. But again, I think just trying to be more transparent with the community of like, hey, these are the errors we've seen. We're working on it. We appreciate your feedback. I mean, that's the thing. The parents and the secretaries have been like the best. And Nishay's still fielding calls every day for a couple parents that, don't have their contact info updated, so they didn't get the contact email. And so the nice thing about starting it now is we have like, a full 6 weeks to work through it. And next year, the hope would be that we would do it before school is out. So that way they can go to summer. They've already registered. And then whenever we get the state to accept our end of year submission, then we would just do the portal rollover then, and it should be pretty
Or at least in June, where we have secretaries in the building
Yeah.
that can help.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. But if you guys think of any other questions or you hear anything else from the community, feel free to send them my way.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, HMK Elementary site alterations and upgrades. Matt, provide us an update.
Yes, so as you know, we're well into our project right now. On the base bid, we have 46 days remaining for substantial completion date. We're at 37%. Alternate is at 25% with 107 days remaining for substantial completion. We have hit some hurdles that we're navigating daily. Myself, MHTN, our OAC meetings are tracking those very closely to address those concerns. All in all, we're right now we're a little bit behind schedule. There is some optimistic thought that we can make up some of that ground with some changes to the submittal processes and things of that nature to kind of clear up some of the management side hurdles that we're reaching. We have gone through and sat down and designated priorities as far as areas we want done as we start to get closer to the school year in a priority list. Also, I met with Libby earlier this week for about 4 hours, and we were talking about parent pickup and drop off and lining that out and getting a plan, and as well as a contingency plan, as well as another contingency plan and another contingency plan, just because we live in a crazy world. We will be meeting as a group next week with Holly when she's here, and bringing in Anna from transportation again, just to iron out all those kinks and make sure that we know what we're doing as we continue to progress and go forward there. Again, we're monitoring it very closely and supervising it and addressing the concerns as they come up. We're working very closely to address concerns and develop plans with the administration so that we're in the best possible position we can be when school starts. The substantial completion date for the base bid is August 25th, and the alternate bid is October 25th. We do have a little bit of room there because we do have the Sunwall Center where we'll be starting out preschool, and that gives us some grace. That does not mean that we're making any changes to substantial completion dates though. Questions?
Jenna asleep. Her camera's on.
She passed.
It's midnight.
Is it past?
It's like midnight.
She did lift her head up and shake her head no.
I'm here,
Okay.
I'm here.
Okay.
I didn't know you could see me. I thought if I had it on the,
Video.
You can cut the video.
if I had it on the agenda, you couldn't see me, I thought.
Oh,
I was
man.
listening.
Thank you.
Now sleepy.
Any questions?
Mhm.
No? Okay. Bond refunding?
Okay, so I am working with Alec Buxton from Zions on our current bonds and considering wanting to move down the direction of possibly doing some refunding on those. And what refunding is a fancy way of saying retiring and reissuing. So we're not talking about changing the maturity date or extending. We're simply talking about retiring existing bonds and reissuing new bonds to capture lower interest.
How's that different from refinance?
Refinancing technically is the term we would use for if we're trying to strategically rearrange
Like the,
debt or remove
Or the-
covenants or
okay, that's what.
things of that nature.
Okay.
So we're simply just talking about retiring and reissuing to capitalize on that interest. Right now, we're looking at a possible savings of $100,000 a year if we were able to do this. So what I've planned is to have Alex down for next month to talk about creating a parameters resolution, and that just allows us to formally get the ball rolling in that direction. The board will have the ability to pull back and not do it at any time right up until we actually reissue. So we'll be monitoring, and there's kind of a window that we're shooting for October, November. It's a couple of month process, and then just really seeing, are the interest rates still trending in the way we think they're gonna be trending? Is this what we wanna do? So this is just me coming to you guys, letting you know that next month, my plan is to have him down to talk about setting a parameters resolution with the board, and he'll have some more information about the process. We're working on developing a calendar for that right now, calendar in advance to get this in place and to go forward. So really, it's just an opportunity as we continue to do things to help with our capital. A chance to possibly save, like I said, right now, ballpark $100,000 to $140,000 a year. So it could be really beneficial, and there's really no downside to it at this point. So we're just looking at that and trying to stay active. Questions?
Thanks, proactive's good.
Okay, thank you. High reliability schools surveys, so on the agenda.
So the
Oh, yeah.
superintendent's not here to discuss this, but part of the high reliability schools process is doing a survey or an audit to see where we're actually sitting and to be really honest, and capture where we're actually at, not where we want to be, not where we've been, where we're actually at as we go forward in implementing this
Give
process.
us the basics.
So these are just there for your information.
We did add them to the enrollment so parents could preview them. There's a staff survey and then there's also a student survey.
So this is the staff.
Oh, I didn't see it on the,
That,
is it under SEL or something for
Um,
students?
I'm not sure if you, with the folder that had all of the SEL, I think had it in
Oh,
there.
had it in there.
Yeah.
It was a big
Yeah,
folder.
we just went ahead and added it at the last minute during enrollment, but,
So do they usually they ask students, they ask staff, they ask
Mhm.
everybody. Do they ask community?
yeah, they have parents on here as well. There's actually a parent one too, that they gave us a PDF that we could use to give parents in like the Dropbox zone. We can send it out in a Google form, and then we basically, the first step recommendation from Marzano was to administer the survey, and then we give the data to them, and they look at the data, and then they give us their recommendations for what to do for the level one. So the idea is that we might get our survey back and have parents seeing that this level, but then we have students seeing this level and staff see it. So it's like they want us to get all three areas.
And we really, the emphasis that I took away from a couple of those sessions was really being honest in this part.
Yeah.
So that we're starting out
Yeah.
from an honest evaluation point of view. We don't
Yeah.
want to pad it, make us look better than we are. We don't want to look worse than we are. We want to be, and so just keeping that going forward as the emphasis as we educate the individual interested
Yeah.
parties on
And
the
this will
survey.
basically be like the driving document that will guide the work of the first year.
So hopefully this will be, like, this survey will be taken probably within the first month of school, probably.
Yeah, our goal was to get it done, I think we said before the end of September. And I know Libby was talking about bringing it out to parents at drop off in paper form. They
Yeah.
said we could do Google
Always,
Forms, we
lots
could
of
have
ways.
students do it orally,
Mhm.
and then we don't have to analyze the data, we just collect,
Mhm,
and then the consultants help us to identify.
mhm. Great.
Is this a year one thing or is this a every year kind of thing?
They didn't say, but what I did hear from what the general consensus is that you should be developing a metric for all of these that are an ongoing measurement. So it's not that you're measuring it once, it's that as you're building your system, there's something in your system that is measuring that we didn't just work on level 2, but we also maintained our level 1 the first year. So I don't know if it's this exact survey, but part of the actual process of getting certified is to like establishing a SMART measure for each of the elements. And that would have to be something we would be tracking throughout the year. And like, I know one thing Libby had mentioned is that, you know, we might have some elements in the school that are on a level 2 or a level 3, and we might have some that are not even at a level 1 yet. So we'll have to be able to kind of let those all live on their own. But if we can't prove with something that is measurable, then we can't really do any of the systems. So the whole basis of the systems is having a measurable tracking system in place to continue growth while also making sure you're not losing something you had last year.
I think it'd be great, yes.
Okay, any questions? Other? All right. Next, our district WICs.
And where superintendent is not here to discuss those, I think this is more of just an information starting place for you guys. He's been the point on running that, and so I'm not prepared to answer any specific questions about them, but more just a starting point for you guys to review, and then we can definitely bring it back at a work session if you have question or comment, but I'm not prepared to speak up to any of them.
I'm happy to explain what a WIG is though. That's helpful.
Well, it's a wildly important goal.
Yeah.
We know
Yeah.
that. I
Did
know
you
that.
guys already do the 40X stuff?
We did some training in our last work session.
Yeah, kind of. So I assume you guys all got together before the end of the year as admin.
Yeah.
And then everybody came up with their WIG.
So we had the district WIG first, which was the one we wrote all together, and then every department had to make a WIG to support the district goal.
That's good.
Okay. Moving on to staff community reports. Board committee reports. Has anybody met?
Yeah, we did.
Okay.
That was a great coalition.
All right.
So, let me just pull up, we're actually very productive in the summer. It's great. So this was just sort of starting the process, I guess, working on our policies, our vision, procedures, each of the representatives, an agreement that we will sign and our responsibilities and just starting that whole process of going through and getting all of that taken care of. Obviously, that's it's gonna take a while, but we started that part and just talking a lot about it, especially for newer members like me, it was very informative and I thought it was great to do that. So that's what, Jeremy, is that a good summary?
I wasn't there.
Yeah, you weren't, I know
I
you
was
weren't there,
sick. But
Like
yeah, that was the idea.
yeah.
With the notion of creating some subcommittees so that folks can contribute, as well as, having kind of an agreement for the next year so that folks that are involved in the Great Coalition and are doing this community care action are committed for the year to what we're doing now, and then they can commit again next year. And we'll review that process on a year-to-year basis.
Does the Great Coalition have like a goal, unifying goal? Because this is prevention. This is generally prevention. And
So the notion over time is to create
Kendra.
is to create a countywide prevention goal.
Okay.
So we're working up to that in terms of the systems that Great Coalition, that Communities of Care process. So we're learning all the Communities of Care Coalition rules and systems and best practices so that we can collectively do the research and set a countywide prevention goal.
And the prevention goal could be reduce teen pregnancy, reduce drug use,
Yes.
reduce, but do you choose one? Like a
I
year,
think
like-
It's generally one.
Okay,
And then they work on that and then they re-up their goal over time.
okay.
But yeah, Beth has been doing the base training for that.
So do we have a goal, right? Like,
Not yet.
We're
we have-
still, yeah,
we're
still-
working on the
we're
goal.
getting the vision of it. So, and even the, when we went to for Bryce, learning so much more about, I mean, it all kind of makes sense now. Like when I first came aboard, I'm trying to figure all that out. But now it's starting to go, oh, okay, this is a plan. This is like a route to get to that.
Yeah.
I don't know. For me, that's what I took away from it. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, we'll obviously be in touch.
Yeah.
You guys will go.
Thank you.
It's a very productive group. Maybe I like it. Yeah.
The rest of us were slackers.
No, it's just I've been on other committees in my time, and this is very.
Yeah, cool.
All right. Next is business administrator report. He doesn't have one. He walked out.
Yeah,
We'll
we gotta start taking this one away from him. He had an important call, I could tell. It was like, oh crap.
I can hear him talking.
Yeah, I know.
We'll go to the community coordinator report. So Jeremy, submitted his report.
Sorry, I didn't know we were having a meeting. I just got back from. I didn't think
Are you
so.
apologizing for this report?
No, I just didn't turn it in until yesterday, so.
Oh. I think there's the calendar that so all those are clickable, Dave. You can click on those blue underlined. Did you know? Look, Kathy didn't know.
I
Yes.
should have known. I just didn't. I wasn't
Absolutely
thinking. I should have
didn't.
known that we could.
So you can click on that calendar and you can see all the different things. I thought that was.
I've tried to set dates for everything this year so that it's really clear and it's lined out for all the staff. We've been doing a lot of these events year after year, so I figured I can just set them now and then set it and forget it. Or have it, ready for our staff to be able to engage, and they know when things are coming up, and you all will know when things are coming up. I don't have everything done yet. I've got some dates to set for Native Club stuff, have dates to set for USU projects, because I'm still waiting for Sam. She's been on vacation. I'm just working with her staff to set dates. But yeah, I've been busy. I'm trying to work on with the homeschool community to engage more of them in the district and try to bring more into the fold. That I'm treading gently because homeschool parents aren't always immediately ready to come back to school district. So I've been developing relationships and becoming a liaison is the idea for those families, and a bridge to the district. A bunch of other stuff on there. If you guys have any questions for me?
I appreciated the summary information that we read about the new charter school program. Yeah. Appreciated that. summary.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, I
That was
will,
good.
it'll be curious to see what that group ends up, how successful they are. They're organized well to interact with that homeschool group. So if I'm trying to bring in those families, they've already got a system in place that they use all over the state that works well with those homeschool families to bring them in one day a week. So it's not simple. But I'm making some inroads, and I've had some positive meetings with parents with the notion of going to group meetings. So when there's like group hangs with homeschool families, to be able to chat with those folks, and being a friendly, connected force for the district for those families.
Is it more about those families that you're talking about? I don't know how to say it. Wanting to be a part of this program, like that they agree with that.
It's just that
The
they've
whole
already
teachings
got-
and everything?
I haven't heard specifically in terms of what,
Yeah.
they're new, they'll be new to this program just as any of us in this community are.
Yeah.
It's just set up for those families so that folks that want to do social time can just do that 1 day a week model. And that's an appeal, I think, to lots of homeschool families who would love to do events in the district. And so I'll be connecting with our staffs at each school to say, is there room for, event spaces where homeschool families can connect? And I probably should talk to Matt about legalese about certain things, but things that I run, things like demonstrations, maybe we could engage with homeschool families in those spaces where I can create spaces to do that. Or, our Hispanic Heritage Month family nights, like those things are not a leap for homeschool families or the community to be involved
I think
in.
legally they have to be involved. They can be involved.
Legally, they can be involved, exactly, right? And so being explicit with those families and saying, here's a list of things for you to come check out this year, that kind of stuff, hopefully will bear some fruit for us.
I think that's a great idea.
Mhm.
Let them know that we're still thinking about them. We'd love to have them back.
Yeah, exactly. And then I've been working on a bunch of attendance stuff. Hope to be able to connect with Kari because as Dolores was taking the lead on that. And so now that she's out working with Kari more about attendance campaigning at the high school and more information to come from there. I've worked with Carrie and Lydia a good chunk already to try to get some stuff set up for them.
All right, thank you. Matt, do you have a business administrator report? Okay. Okay, consent agenda. On the consent agenda tonight, we have the minutes from board work session June 11th, the minutes from June 25th, the minutes from the 27th. We have the personnel list, the financial reports from June, check register, expenditure report, and revenue report. And we have the salary schedules, the admin salary schedule, the classified salary schedule, the director salary schedule, instructional coach salary schedule, salary schedule out there, teacher salary schedule, and therapist salary schedule. That was what we negotiated and put in our budget. Is there a motion?
A motion to approve the consent agenda with all those items you read.
Is there a second? A second. Dave Beershire makes a motion. Kathy Williams seconds to approve the consent agenda. I usually don't ask for discussion, but I have one specific thing that I want to talk about really quick on the personnel list. We are doing interviews on Friday at 1 and 2 for the AP position. I'd like a board member on that interview committee. And so are there any?
What time?
1 and 2, right? That was what was on.
I'd like to be on the committee if that's what
Okay.
you're asking.
That's what I'm asking for, donations, volunteers.
Might be it.
But we can, it's pretty small, yeah?
Yes, it's a small committee.
So if you want it, rock, paper, scissors for it.
Yeah.
So you have 2 interviews for AP, is what you're doing on Friday.
Yes, at 1 o'clock and at 2 o'clock. Should be about a 45-minute interview. Right now, they're both in person. One might be via Zoom, depending on travel plans, but I've encouraged them
You got a
to
quarter?
be in person.
You want to flip for it?
Can you do it, Melissa?
Yeah, I can do it as well.
Oh, I assumed you were already gonna be there.
No,
No, it's somebody.
I just
Oh,
want a
oh.
board member there.
Oh,
I would
I would defer to you to be there. But,
Yeah.
Other things, yeah, I misunderstood. I assumed that you were gonna be there, that you.
No, I'm not there. But I mean, I know Dave works closely with, if Dave wants to do it as well, like I
And I've done it
think he's,
before. as a
Oh, then,
parent.
yeah.
as a
Did
parent.
you do it? Yeah, I was just gonna say if nobody else was interested, I wouldn't mind it, but no.
You know me, I wanna keep it on task.
Good, good, yeah, yeah.
Okay,
All right,
Good.
all right, that was my.
we have a timekeeper.
That's it, you got it. Well,
Um, yeah, all those in favor of approving the consent agenda, say aye.
Aye.
That passes 5-0.
I will.
I need something to take in mind.
Yeah. Okay, next, action items. We have the, FGAB.
That's the electronic device policy we talked about.
Yep.
So if there's no action on that, that's fine.
Yeah, that's
I would
fine.
accept a motion to post,
Okay.
FGAB student conduct policy electronic devices, for public comment.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second that.
Okay, Kathy Williams makes a motion to post Grand County School District Policy FGAB, student conduct policy, electronic devices, for public comment. Lori Green, seconds it, any discussion? We don't post the red line, we post do you post the red line or you post the draft? Okay.
Because that's the
They
one
can
that
see
we
the
are,
changes.
So you can see the
Yeah.
changes, okay.
Yeah.
Any other questions, discussions? All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Just in case. Okay, that was 5-0. All right, next is the state school-based mental health screening. The board must submit their record of determination to the state board indicating whether our LEA will be participating or non-participating for the 25-26 school year. This determination must be submitted by August 1st. Kelly Botts has, in the past, we have not participated due to lack of resources. We did get an email, if you want to,
So
yeah,
just briefly, from our perspective again, this is one of those deals where the road to hell is paved with good intentions, right? If we participate in the screening and identify, then we are responsible for the services, and we don't have the resource to provide the services, therefore we can't participate in the screening. Does that make sense?
so this would be for identifying children with serious mental health problems. And
And I don't know that, when you say
Exactly.
serious, I
Or
don't
just-
know exactly
anyway.
what that, but
got it.
do you remember, Kelly has come in the past, past board meetings and presented this in person where, and that was her reasoning of,
Sure.
we're still screening.
Sure.
As,
Yeah,
as well as much as we can.
sure.
I think this is a survey, so it would be kids are filling out surveys.
Okay.
And once that kid fills out that survey,
And then
they're
identified.
identified.
it's not that we're not trying to address the problem.
Yeah, I think it's the it's that mechanism of how we're identifying it.
And
So-
what we're doing to, yeah.
And so if we start identifying,
Mhm.
we're gonna have lots of kids that we do not.
Of course.
It's a catch-22, right?
And it's not something, I take it, that is required by
It's not
the
required.
state.
It's not required. It is required that we submit our determination. And that being said, historically, we have not done it. I tried to research it a little bit today.
Yeah.
And didn't get very far, but that's where I'm at.
And so this is outside of the classroom. So obviously if a teacher, if they see and they need to,
You
go
still
through
have-
testing and all of that, that's nothing to do with that.
Correct.
This is
Right.
through a
So we're saying
survey.
we're not participating, is that?
We're not participating in this specific.
Survey.
Yeah, I understand, yeah.
Okay.
I just had to
So-
get the non or the not, because
Yeah.
sometimes
She's recommending not to
Yes.
participate in,
we have to take. it.
that's Kelly's.
That's Kelly's recommendation, and she would be
Recommendation.
the authority. I would defer to her on this.
Yeah.
If we don't have the resources to do it, it wouldn't make any sense to try. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, and, I remember previous years, Kelly, they're identifying as much as they're doing,
Yeah.
they're not
So we have to
slacking
do
at
something
all.
about it.
So, I think we do have to approve non-participation.
move to
Yeah.
approve the submission to the state that we will not be
Laura, we
participating.
say I move that?
I'll accept it. Who's gonna move that?
What's that?
You wanna make the motion?
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
I motion to notify the state that we will not be participating in this program.
Is there a second? Second. Laura Lee Green makes the motion, Kathy Williams seconds to, this is a weird, approve submission to the state board that our LEA will not be a non-participant LEA for the 25-26 school year. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 That passes 5-0. All right, communications.
Can I throw you a curveball?
Maybe.
Well, it depends on how long we're gonna go into communications and advanced planning, but I do have to travel to Salt Lake tonight.
Oh, yeah.
So, and we do need to have an executive session.
Yeah.
So if we could move that above communications and advanced planning, if that please the board.
Do we have any communications?
No.
Kathy?
Okay.
So I'm vetoing that.
Jenna? Any
Jenna, you have
No.
any communication? Okay.
No.
I got one of them.
Yeah, we can go into advanced planning after executive.
Okay.
So let's do a quick recess, and then we'll come back, just so that. So I'll accept a motion to recess.
I'll make a motion to recess.
Is there a second? Okay, Kathy Williams makes the motion, Dave Gershite seconds. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. We'll recess at 6:35.
Jenna, what time is it there?
I can't stay. 12:35.
Oh,
I'm going to
Are you
bed.
are you exhausted?
Yes. Yes. Okay. I'm tagging
Good
out.
night.
Okay.
Good
Night.
Good night.
Have
Bye.
fun.
Thanks.
I'm done. I don't like her. This is why I'm not even, I don't know that I'm gonna even think about it when I'm,
You're gonna be in Italy?
yeah. It's even farther
Are you going to Italy?
in time.
Everybody goes everywhere.
Like it's even like
Iceland,
more.
Italy.
I
Trying to get back to Atlanta.
Holy shit.
I would much rather be going.
I'm going to Prescott, Prescott, Arizona.
Just got back from Prescott.
It's been softball summer. Yeah.
Was that hot?
It was pretty hot.
Oh, wow, that is a lot harder.
I think I could probably.
I like it. Did you see any smoke from the Grand Canyon? Oh.
One second.
Oh.
So when we left on the ninth, and it was clear, and
Feel free.
we came back on Monday.
It was like, well, there's two fires now. There's two
Yeah,
fires.
but
there.
why? I mean, it was just.
Safe travels
I'll pick it up and go for you.
No, you, I just wanted to hear
It's
decision,
so bad.
your head
There's
solid.
a Grand Canyon watch. I have a picture of me with my sweet Oliver in front of it. I'm like, oh, save that. You know.
That's not what I want to do.
So,
Okay,
yep, thanks for coming by.
okay, thank you.
Appreciate all you did. 2 days now. What if we're gonna do it, we have to do it right.
Yeah.
And I don't wanna be- But then two, I'm hearing mixed feedback about participation and how long we've actually done it, so I was trying to get more information.
Third year, we've done it.
Third year?
Yeah.
Okay.
This will be the third year. First year we did it at Red Cliffs. Last year we did it at, this would be the fourth year.
We did it at Red Cliff and I didn't get invited to that one?
You weren't there, you weren't here yet. We did it at Red
I wasn't
Cliffs.
here yet either.
They gave us the space for free. It was pretty friggin' hot.
Hot as in like temperature wise and hot
Yeah,
as
because
in
they gave us the outdoor space and it was okay. It was fun. And I put a lot of time into that. We did like trivia and it was super fun. Here's my thought for this year. I think that the helipad will give us their space. It's pretty nice. It's tucked in behind the barbecue joint.
So what I have, and what I'll do, is a 3-hour, 4-hour car ride with Jerry. So I can talk it out, and then I'll be here Friday.
So my thought is we could barbecue and we could do it well.
Okay.
I wouldn't screw around. We'd do a nice marinade. We'd do chicken. We'd do like fajita style. And
I'll just do it in-house, and I can probably get Nicholas to give us stuff at
Is
cost.
this at your house or ours?
This is at your house. So put all your
And we have the big barbecue at the middle school, so we could just do it there.
Put all your thoughts together and we can talk either Friday or Monday.
Dave said he wants to
Before I
barbecue for
forget,
us.
did you see I completed all my classes? The whole shit, I got one and I gotta figure out how to
We're
get
so
to.
worried about it.
And I didn't,
Oh, you did all your vectors?
whatever, I just did whatever, all those different things they told me I had to do to be a board member.
Oh, okay. Dave, I actually think it wouldn't be a bad move. I wanna we've done a back to school party, the last couple of years. And we had it catered, and with food costs, my guess would be about $3,500 for us to do it this year.
Right.
On the cheap, right? But I think we should just cook in-house. And I'd probably get food from Melody for cheap, is my guess.
Yeah.
And then we'll just marinate chicken, but if the board wanted to cook, like be the barbecuers for it, that's always like a good look. So
We know I like to cook.
I'll throw it out there, so I'll do the marinade and like the pre-prep and
Yeah.
stuff like that, and we'll just grill. The thought is we could just do like chicken fajitas for
Are
the
we
staff.
talking about a party?
Because
At your house.
Matt and Mike and Jerry have been really wary this year because we don't have any money, right? We have very low budget, so we don't want to spend a bunch. And they're already spending money on convocation. The flip side of it is that what teachers say is they don't feel connected to each other, right? Their morale is low. And we have a bunch of new staff coming in again, right? So we'll have a new vice principal, a new principal, a new CTE director, we have new staff in different places, new teachers. So having that space that is more nonchalant for people to connect.
Where were you thinking of doing it then?
I'm thinking of doing it trying to do it at the helipad. You know where that is?
Yeah, that's a great idea.
It's a really beautiful space and they're a nonprofit.
Very casual.
It's a very nice space. It's got a nice lawn, so people can be inside and outside.
Yeah.
I figure I'll do, like karaoke indoors. We can do,
Trivia night? Have
we
you
can
done
do
that
trivia.
before, like a trivia team?
I've done trivia before. I did that at Red Cliffs.
Right, that's kind of fun.
So that's fun. We can do lawn games again, so people can just be nonchalant. I don't know what the rules is for alcohol there. My thought would be that we could do a BYOB if they'll allow us to do it.
Would you have to get permission from the city probably, right?
For what?
No, because that's totally privately held.
We
So
do
they're
not want to
nonprofit.
get in a BYOB.
We don't, okay, Matt says no BYOB.
And I like to drink as
It's
much
at
as
the end of,
next
the
guy.
dead end of
Figure out
Center
what
Street,
to-
on the west
Noted.
end of Center Street.
Yeah.
Remember where the old,
Do I need to not be here?
Pet store was?
Yeah, yeah.
It's right, just
I didn't
like,
know that.
yeah. I don't know what it used to be. It used to be like an auto shop or something.
Oh, there was, yes,
Yeah,
there was one.
that's where it is.
You're going, gee, we need to stay with the recorded meeting.
Kind of a hippie groovy
Yeah, well,
type
Okay.
place.
Actually.
So you're right.
yeah, no,
I
we
will
got
throw
some-
out some ideas to Matt. But we'll see. If we
I'm
if
just
we do a
sure, like, you need me
DIY
to
cook,
leave.
you guys
No,
should help
on the
cook,
second-
because that's a
second
nice
part
look,
of that.
and it's not a big deal, and it's also
Okay.
less pressure for you to have to make
Okay.
it to win. Okay, bye.
Yeah. Will you?
I'm thinking the gym.
I'm gonna get that,
Yeah, but leave it here. so I can do that.
I know.
Okay.
character.
My son just came home
And,
from school, he got staying.
Oh, he's at college right now.
His mother and mother got in the car.
It's one there.
and
That I ended up.
Who's gonna pay the?
I ended up charging several thousand
that's what
dollars
we,
in-
so, you know what those ones too are, so
Mhm.
make sure it's safe.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
And now we gotta throw in the towel, so I ended up buying a new truck so I could give him my truck.
Oh, my goodness. What kind
Alright.
of truck do you? Well, we'll talk
We
later.
ready? I gotta crack the whip, we just gotta get out of here. All right, come out of recess at 6:43. Is Jenna still here?
No, she left.
Okay.
She left.
Jenna gone at 6:43. Okay, she left at 6:35, 6:36. Okay, we needed executive session.
I would
Okay.
move we go into executive session for personnel, character, and competency, and possible litigation.
Two different things.
Oh, could be.
Yes.
I will second that.
Okay. Dave Beershey makes a motion. Kathy Williams seconds to go into executive session for personnel, character and competency, and possible litigation. Roll call vote.
Marley Green. Here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes or no?
I never know what to say.
That's all right.
I'm just letting you know, I'm.
Melissa Bird, yes.
She's not an Iceland.
Kathy Williams, yes.
Dave Burchett, yes.
All right, that's 4-0, and Jenna is not here. And we will go into executive at 6:44 and turn off the recorder.
And we're gonna start with pending possible litigation.
Is it back on?
Do I need to be back on?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Okay, recorder is on at 6:44.
I'm gonna take notes.
Not recording, so we do.
Okay. Recorder's on at 6:44. We are,
Oh, whoa. We're still here.
okay. We're gonna turn off.
Oh, you're fine.
Or whatever.
Okay, can we just mute it?